I first got into comedy in Montreal when I was very young. I was in my early 20s and I was a cocktail waitress at a comedy club. I had no aspirations of doing comedy. I was actually a musician before that, and I would busk with my guitar on the street. So I had an element of, showmanship or like entertainment about me, but comedy was very foreign. It was the only English-speaking job I could get because it was an English comedy club, and I was the best comedy cocktail waitress. Nobody saw me, no one heard me, I never disrupted the show. I was like low, I was quiet, I was all dressed all in black, like I wasn't even there, I was the best. But I saw so much comedy from doing that. I befriended a lot of comedians and I saw a lot of good comedy, but it was mostly the bad comedy that I thought, hey, if this person's up there doing this, come on, I gotta give it a shot. And so I was hooked.
I talked to my mom on the phone today. That was nice. She gave me her usual cheerful, lighthearted roundup of every distant relative and casual acquaintance who've received devastating medical diagnoses or died horrific deaths since we last talked. God, is there anyone on earth more goth than a mom? They're really glued to those obituaries, aren't they? And then she told me that she renewed her organ donor card this week. She's a real, good vibes only type. She renewed her organ donor card. I'm like, okay, what organs are you putting up for grabs? And she told me, all of them, every single one. Check, 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 check. Classic mom, isn't it? They're always trying to unload all their old stuff on everyone. But yeah, she told me every single organ, including eyeballs. I didn't know you could donate eyeballs, which is crazy to think about. I was like, that's funny. That really makes me wonder. And God forbid, but if my mom ever, and then someone got her eyeballs in a transplant, you gotta wonder, would that person also think that I could use a little more blush and that I should avoid wearing horizontal stripes and that maybe I could stand to skip dessert and that I look tired today? Something that you guys might not know about stand-up comedy is you can see the comic because we're in the light, but we can't see hardly anything. It's like pitch black, because we're in the light, but then it's pitch black. So imagine how that feels for the comic, right? For us up here, to feel so alone, just kind of rambling our innermost thoughts and vulnerable ideas into what feels like a black void, and then having to get dressed and leave our basement apartments and come here to the venue and do it all over again. Pretty repetitive. My very good friend recently bought a house, which I thought was kind of rude. That's not rude, that's not polite, is it? To buy a house when me, your friend, cannot buy a house? I don't think that's the done thing, is it? And she took me on a tour of this place, and it's really modern too, all kinds of renos and upgrades. And she wouldn't shut up about how energy efficient it is, the house. Oh my God, on and on, every single room. Oh, it's so energy efficient. And the energy in here, is it ever efficient? I'm like, oh God, I said, I got fed up. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? The dump that I rent is energy efficient too. At least it is for the squirrels who hang out on the windowsill all winter like this. One thing I can bank on is it's always a squirrel crowd. Summer's upon us. I'm so pleased for that. I spent a lot of time in the summer at the splash pad. Anyone here part of the splash pad scene? No? Splash pad? No? The culture? No. It's it's a little splashy puddle park with fountains and sprinklers in the park for kids. And I go there a lot with my friend because she has kids. Right? And so I'm standing there, I'm going all the time. And I was there one day with them last summer, taking in the scene, kind of absorbing the splash pad culture, checking it out, seeing who's who, what's what, kind of analyzing the dynamics, taking a real close look around in a way that certainly an unaccompanied male could never get away with. Taking it in, checking it out. And then I noticed there was a kid there named Grayson, And I know his name was Grayson because I heard his mom and dad say his name only 100,000 times as they were like hovering over him and breathing down his neck the whole time. Like, Grayson, 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 stay close, careful, Grayson, don't run, Grayson, be careful. Oh, I lost Grayson, where's Grayson? You got eyes on Grayson? I got eyes on Grayson. Grayson, 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 be careful, don't run, Grayson, Grayson, Grayson. Like, I was like, I've seen helicopter parents. These two were like a pair of military medevac choppers on top of this kid the whole time, like Grayson, 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 Grayson. Kid's like wouldn't leave. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And hark this detail. Grayson was wearing water wings. Water wings, yeah, at this puddle park. Water wings on Grayson. Like, what is this? I said to my friend, I said, what's going on with this Grayson and his family? What the hell's their deal? And she's got her finger on the pulse of this splash pad, okay? She knows what's going on. And she told me, okay, now this is gossip. Don't repeat this. But she told me that Grayson's mom and dad couldn't have Grayson naturally, okay? So they had to employ a lot of very elaborate, high-tech, cutting-edge scientific intervention in order to procure Grayson, you understand? And I'm not talking like normal fertility stuff. They outsourced every single thing, like everything. First they went to the sperm store, okay? The sperm store, and only got the best, like the best top shelf, premium Canada fancy grade, the best. And then they took that to the Egg Mart, organic, cage-free, free-run, the best. And then they brought that over to an even different belly, which was like, again, luxury accommodations. And they took all that, and there's a lot going on. See what I mean? A lot of moving parts, a lot of people involved, a lot going on at the lab, a pinch of this and a dash of that, and like bubble, toil and trouble in the lab. All right? And that's great. I think that's a miracle if people want to become parents and they can't and they can use that, and that's a miracle. But you want to know what the miracle cost? $85,000. Grayson was $85,000. I'm sorry, some of you look quite unmoved by that number. That doesnn't mean anything to you, 85,000. Okay. I guess you guys don't get a lot of squirrels on your windowsills either. La-dee-da. And then it got me thinking, $85,000. Maybe they are being a bit careless with Grayson out there. Grayson! 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 I couldn't take my eyes off of him. Grayson! Grayson! I lost Grayson. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Grayson! Grayson! Be careful! Grayson! Can we get a snorkel? Maybe a snorkel for Grayson? $85,000. If that was my Grayson, he wouldn't be anywhere near the splash pad. He wouldn't even be in the vicinity. He would be at home. No, sorry, he would not be at home. He'd be down at the bank in a safety deposit box. Because you realize they depreciate the second you take them out. And that's my time. Thank you so much. My name is Jackie. Thank you so much for being a great crowd. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
With me, like, I'm used to people having to get used to me off the top, and that's normal for me. Like, sometimes they look at me like I'm in a petri dish or something, and they're like, sometimes I get them right away, but sometimes they're like anthropologists that have come across something, and it's a really good feeling when they're like, oh, okay, I get what's going on.